Hey guys, this is Jim Francis, Goes Rogue podcast, and I have an amazing show tonight. With me, I have three awesome people that are going to tell me about what's happening in Tinseltown. They're doing they're doing these wonderful projects where they're scaring people, and people are turning to zombies, like a zombie apocalypse, right? And so let's hear it from them. I got Price Pierce, Michael Angelo, and Destiny Dawn. Hi guys, how we doing tonight?
Hey.
Hello, doing wonderfully. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
The pleasure is mine. I'm sorry about the scaring people away. It's a scary time that we live in. I mean, this whole coronavirus thing that's happening, it's real, right? It's very apocalyptic like. What are you guys doing? What kind of safety measures are you guys taking and precautions in the way of it to keep yourselves safe from it? I'll start with Pryde.
Yeah. So for me, the first thing I did was I went out and I bought a very large bottle of Fireball alcohol.
There you go.
And, what I do is I use that to wash my hands, as well as apply it to my face liberally. It tends to end up in my mouth probably the most. But so if there is any virus that gets in my system, I hope that kind of purges it as it goes down.
That's fantastic. What about you, Michael Angelo?
I'm a little bit of a germaphobe already, so I've already got a stockpile of hand sanitizer and everything. Good. I got hand sanitizer all over the place in my car, and
it's good.
I got some water a little bit before that rush. You know, you can't buy anything in the stores now. If you checked it out, a lot of the stores are empty right now. But
yeah, that's why I was thinking, like, the whole apocalyptic thing is real now. It's like life imitating art, you know. What about
I went to the Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Michael. Were you gonna say something?
Oh yeah, I was just saying I just literally came back from the store a little bit ago, about an hour ago, and I'd say about at least a third of the shelves are just empty. I mean, just regular food too. You can't find no eggs, milk, and bread. All that stuff's gone.
Basic necessities off the shelves. Amazing. Destiny,
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Miss Destiny?
We're just practicing a lot of social distancing, not going out, into large crowds or to the bars, limiting our interactions as much as possible, making safe decisions. Like we're supposed to go on vacation next week and fly to Florida, and we're really seriously considering not doing that.
Wow.
If the airports are even doing those anymore. But more than just physically taking care of ourselves, we're also trying to be really mindful and be generous with our fellow human beings and very patient with each other. When you do go to stores, you keep distance from each other, but help each other out. And there's a lot of people who just lost, especially in theater and filmmaking, lost a lot of gigs in the service and film industry. So being generous as much as possible. And I have a book club of girls where we're bartering different items of, like, one girl just has zero toilet paper, but she has a bunch of food. So we're trading canned goods.
I'll tell you, this is a common practice, by the way. I didn't mean to cut you off, but real quick, it's a common practice in Cuba because it's a socialist country, and so that's what happens. Like, you have this, I'll trade you for rice or whatever. It's only given a certain quantity. It's pretty nuts, isn't it?
It's quite scary. But the thing that's, I'm sorry to take up so much time, but the thing that's scarier for me, other than just being sick and possibly getting other people sick, is how people are reacting to it. And it's like that whole idea of, like, we're the Walking Dead. Like, we're actually the thing to be scared of because people get so desperate. So just taking deep breaths and being very mindful and patient and generous with people.
You mentioned mindful. It's very true. Michael Angelo just said something that's crazy because there's a lot of food that's missing, like all the bare necessities, eggs and milk, and there's children that eat these things, as we obviously know day to day. Not to take more than you need, right?
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people are really yeah, I mean, I guess the media obviously plays an important part in why, with the misinformation and stuff, people apparently think that there must be like a lot of assholes out there these days. There's a lot of toilet paper, a lot of toilet paper flying off shelves, and I don't understand the need for that much toilet paper.
That doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Like, you weren't using toilet paper before or something, or like, you know.
I think it's really just the fear that if you're quarantined for weeks and weeks on end, like you don't know the next time you're going to be able to go out and get any.
That's the frustration.
But that's the only reasoning that I can think of.
Right. That's the frustration that's really got most people in creating a pandemonia type of deal going. And yeah, speaking of zombies, I want to know about your project, because you guys I know Pryde is a filmmaker / actor. I just found out after I saw the teaser, by the way. Wow, what an actor. Amazing. Good work, my man.
Yes.
That was good. I really liked you, and I didn't know that you also did acting, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, good stuff. And then Angelo, you're also an assistant producer, and you're an actor as well in this.
Yes, correct.
And Destiny, you're in the movie as well.
I am.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, why is Destiny? Who is this Destiny person? She's just popping in. You looped into our chat box, chat room, and decided to be part of this.
That's me. I just kicked down the door.
we love to. No, honestly, I want to thank all three of you guys for being on my show. Once again, if you're just tuning in, it's the Jim Francis Goes Rogue, and yeah, tonight's gonna be much fun. We're gonna go ahead and talk about their film. Right, tell us a little bit about the film Pryde. I know it's called. Is it Lickler Dan and the Fallen Man, or the Fallen Man?
Close. That's actually one way you could pronounce it, and actually, you would be surprised how much time I spent deciding which pronunciation to use. But we're going with Lich Lord Dan and the Fall of Man, and it's funny. I actually first started writing it probably in 2013. Had a few different times where we were going to produce it and we're going to do it with various team members and cast and crew associated with it. I remember the first time we cast it out in LA and Hollywood. We had several. I remember we had probably about 500 people show up for 3 of the roles, or whatnot back then. One of them. She's actually on one of the soaps now, I think, Days of Our Lives now. Another one was the daughter of another famous star who was in, I'm forget the name of the film offhand, but it was one of the famous Vietnam films or whatnot. Oh, wow. But anyway, the film is, in short, it's basically, I'll give you the log line. It's when an ancient evil infects game company head Danforth Worthington, and he plots to enslave mankind. Our only hope is the game testers at his company, led by his underachieving brother, Manfred. And so it's kind of an ode to a lot of things that inspired me in my youth, from gaming, game culture, to mythology, to movies like Army of Darkness and, Shaun of the Dead, such and such, things like that. Great. So in this movie, it's basically you have a magical book that's a prison for the Egyptian god Set. And what led to that happening was Set was jealous of his brother Osiris, who was the head of the pantheon. So he created a succubus, who in this case is played by Destiny, a succubus named Karina. And she seduced Osiris so that Set could kill him. And then Osiris's son Horus, the god of war, began waging war on Set, the god of trickery. And obviously the god of war is better at war than the god of trickery. So he sent Karina to seduce the god of magic, Thoth, to make a magical book so he could beat the god of war. Thoth did that, but he was able to resist her just enough to put a curse on the book, that whoever used it first would be trapped inside of it. And so Set became trapped inside of it. Karina, the succubus, and she was partly made from his essence, she was trapped in it, but a little bit more loosely. And when our story begins, a group of cultists basically free her in their desire to create a sex slave for themselves, but that doesn't go as like they have it planned. And once she gets free, her initial reaction is to, of course, free her master Set. But to do that, she needs 1 million souls. And so she is guided by Set and kind of by what she would consider divine providence into finding Danforth Worthington, who has this game company, this online video game. And she seduces him, tricks him into casting a spell from the book, which kills him, but brings him back to life as an undead necromancer, an undead magic user, a lich. And they come up with this plan to where they'll put a spell in the game that when people play it, they'll die, they'll be sacrificed, and they'll get the souls they need, because he believes he'll become a god, if he does this, which he will. It just won't be him, it'll be Set. And the only ones that, can stop him then are his younger brother, who he has some past issues with, and the other game testers that work at his company. So it's a lot of silliness, a lot of fun, a lot of playfulness, a lot of mythology kind of wrapped into it, kind of like a 21st century mythology slash, geek gamer kind of comedy situation going on.
Wow, it's phenomenal, man. It sounds already spellbinding. I'm sucked in. I mean, because obviously, just the methodical part of it. I think I obviously was, from the time I was a child, I read quite a bit of books, and a lot of that stuff, the sorcery, kind of draws me in, and mythical gods and whatnot, all that sort of stuff. I think viewers are gonna love. And then, like you said, I mean, if you're behind, there's got to be some comedy. Anything Michael and Pryde, it has to have some comedy also. You mentioned Shaun of the Dead, so yeah, I can already envision it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Now, all three of you guys, have you guys worked together before on any projects, or how do you get to know each other?
Well, we definitely have. I'll let I don't know if Michael Blackwell wants to relate, how we first met, and then we started working on projects, and then maybe Destiny can, say how we first met on her end. And also, we definitely have. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
I was doing a project in Riverside for a 48-hour film festival, and I ran into Pryde on that set. So me and him, we worked on that set, and it was a horrible short. I mean, looking back on it, it was completely horrible. I mean,
what was so bad about it, man?
Happened? I think we were two gangsters, and we had a couple of people who were going door to door, knocking, and trying to tell the good news and everything like that to folks, and they knocked on the wrong house. And we took them in and kind of tied them up and all that stuff, but they ended up getting away and beating us up in the process. But it was horrible. It was a horrible project, but it was fun.
Right.
So
it was so bad it was good, right?
Yes. And it's funny because after that, me and Pryde, we had like years where I just kind of did my thing and he did his thing, and then we had got back together. I think he had Control, a short called Control, and I went to go support him on it. And it was like years later, maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years later, or something like that.
Wow.
And ever since then, I mean, we've been, just working on a couple of projects here and there together. So I guess the rest is history.
Yeah, most definitely. How did you guys meet Destiny?
Well, I met, I was actually working, or I had filmed a different horror movie maybe 4 years ago or so, and Pryde came to one of the screenings that they were having up in Upland, I think. Okay. And I just met him. He came in just to be supportive of the cast and that director. And we just, exchanged information. He reached out to me for a different project. And now we've done maybe, I think, 4 different 48-hour film festival filmings together, and then working on this and doing some other table reads and collaborating on some other scripts. And yeah, it's been a really great relationship to have. Like, if anybody can be friends with Pryde, like, you get so much out of that relationship.
You
just
really do.
Support and collaboration, and it's awesome. And then, of course, meeting Michael Blackwell at the same time, and working with him on different projects. And man, Michael does such a wonderful job. Not to blow smoke up too many butts as I'm talking, but Michael, his acting career is just awesome, and he brings out so much of you while you're performing with him.
Right.
So yeah, it's awesome.
He's a hell of an actor. Yeah, Michael is a hell of an actor. I actually worked on a project with them. It was a web series, right, guys? About a year ago.
Yep.
Meet the Mackies.
Meet the Mackies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was fun. I mean, you know, I really liked it. I loved Michael's character and the way I actually thought you really spoke that way, by the way, Michael, with you had like the guy right out of Kentucky or something, right? It was
Yeah.
in the South.
Out of the South, yeah.
And it was great when I first met you. You were in character, I believe, and I said, wow. And then shortly after, I heard you speak, you know, the way you normally speak, and I'm thinking, are you for real? Like, this guy's really good. You owned it, man. You really did. And which is why I think the series was really good, as well put together. And obviously Pryde was behind the lens and he helped in
absolutely.
From beginning to end. And I really love that collaboration. And yeah, I really hope to work with you guys sometime in the nearby future on something, you know, on any of the projects you guys have. I can kill pretty well. I'm actually good at it. No, I'm kidding.
Nice.
I've been watching enough movies and enough shows that I think I can hurt somebody. No, I'm totally joking. But on a lighter note, I really want to say, you know, how fascinated I am with the way you guys are. I mean, obviously nobody's getting paid for now, so it's deferred payment, correct? As far as everybody.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's, you know, you always try to look out for people as you can, but, you know, especially with indie filmmakers,
right?
The landscape, you know, it's really tough unless you either have a name and you're able to get some kind of pre-sale arrangement going on, or unless you have, you know, some kind of nest egg that you're going to blow, you know, but neither of those are guaranteed. And so, you know, I actually had a couple situations in the past where I financed things differently. You know, sometimes I've raised money. Sometimes I've used my own money. A lot of times it's a combination of both. And I had one project that didn't happen where it kind of got away from me, where I had had a vision of how I would do it, you know, on a really kind of small scale, but what I figured would be good enough for it to be successful. And, you know, next thing you know, we ended up being in the trades next to, you know, Denzel's A Raisin in the Sun and, you know, some other things. And you know, now then Tara Reid got interested and all this other stuff started happening so fast that it kind of got away from me. And I lost kind of a significant amount of money for me on the project, you know what I mean? And it didn't happen in result. And so when I was looking at future moves, you know, one of the things, I kind of downsized equipment wise. You know, I went from, you know, operating with a $25,000 camera kit, et cetera, to after that kind of rebounding and saying, okay, you know, let's get smaller, let's get more mobile, you know, let's focus on technique versus just, you know, assets, you know, and let's be smarter about how we do things. You know, I mean, you can't take another loss like that again and expect that you can still conceivably try to put together projects in the future. So you got to do it in a way that is a optimistic kind of outlook, but a realistic type of way of operating, you know. And so with this, it was, okay, well, you know, I've been fortunate enough to cultivate some relationships with some actors and others who I consider to be very skilled, you know, and who are very passionate, you know, and whatnot. And so let me approach them, see if they're interested and they kind of believe in what we're doing and the possibility for it to turn, you know, a profit if we can keep the costs as low as possible while making the content, you know, appealing. You know, and see if they're interested, you know, and I've been fortunate that, you know, the people that have signed on have been willing to do that.
And so for our listeners that are tuning in, is there a way that people can, you know, obviously fund this project? Because I know you guys have, is it a GoFund or an Indiegogo account that's up right now? Is that what's happening?
That's correct. Yeah. Right. As of right now, while we speak, we do have a page on Indiegogo. You can just, you know, go there and search out Lichlord Dan. Lichlord, then just the name Dan, Dan, or Lichlord Dan and the Fall of Man. It should pop up right away for you. You know, and on there, every single perk on there gives you a copy of the film with it. The lowest perk, I believe, is $10. You know, I mean, because we really wanted to keep the prices where it was commensurate with the market as far as how much you might pay for, you know, for a new film that was out, you know, or whatever else. So it's not like it's saying, hey, you know, come and support us by giving us $100 and we'll give you, you know, a shout out. No, it's not one of those type of deals. You know, it's really we try to be really fair with the perks and have it be something that, you know, you're definitely getting more value in many cases than what the dollar amount might suggest.
That's phenomenal. You heard it here at Jim Francis Goes Rogue's podcast. This is great. I mean, I think this project is definitely good. And this is a full-length film, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So you get a lot. I'm sure that you get a lot of people thinking right now, probably, I definitely want, because I'm into horror films, I really want to see this happen, see it through. And so I'm going to go ahead and cast my $1 million into it if possible, right?
Right.
But
happens all the time.
What's that?
Happens every day. Happens all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that I mean, I got to tell you guys something. When I was growing up, I had the chance and the pleasure of meeting one of my favorite all time, the guy that played Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And forget his name. I'm drawing blanks. I can't think of his name right now. Robert Englund, right? Robert Englund.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him somewhere. I forget exactly where, at some event. And you know what? He was telling me how he started, and he said that that he actually worked on the Halloween film, the very first one with John Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, he was the guy that was in charge of, because the film, took place in Illinois somewhere, but it actually was set there, but it was shot here in South Pasadena.
Right.
And so they didn't have enough leaves and whatnot. So you have to pick up all the leaves and spread them out. And he was telling me that it was really done cheaply, at the beginning. There was no money. And if you look at the first film, you can tell it's really low budget. And I really, I got to tell you, when I was fascinated from the beginning. I love horror films. I love zombie movies. What is it? There's that one film, Return of the Dead or Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, Return of the Living Dead. Mm-hmm.
Love that film. I love. Was that part where they say brains? I think that's the movie, right? And they're like eating somebody's brains. I mean, it's just nuts. I love zombie films, but I love horror films altogether because, you know what? I got to tell you, it's at times, like when I watch a movie like that, for me, to be honest with you, it's obviously entertaining purposes, of course, but also the what if, what if something really happened like that? You know what I mean? And I'm really excited about what you guys have here present. I can't wait to actually watch it myself, because I know that when it comes out, I'm going to be the first one to see it. Right.
Oh, appreciate it. Well, I mean, we're fortunate too. We got really, really strong leads in Destiny and in Michael. It really had to be kind of anchored by some tremendously strong actors.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we're really, really fortunate with that, and like you said about art imitating life, it's, I guess a bit ironic in that in the story, employees begin being, killed and then reanimated by the succubus Karina and by Lich Lord Dan, by Danforth Worthington. And so the HR department begins thinking that there's some kind of illness going around. And so there's actually a scene in the film where they're like, emphasizing hand sanitizer and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
there you go. That is amazing.
Like you said, it's art imitating life, now. But Destiny, I mean, her role is pivotal. Michael Blackwell's roles, they're both pivotal, and they both, have been given such great performances. I just can't wait till people can know more about their characters and see it.
Well, and it's Pryde. It's kind of easier for us, I think. Speaking for myself, I think it's easier for us as actors to give good performances when there is so much research and there's so much depth to the script and to the story. Like if it wasn't as built with such a strong foundation, then we wouldn't be able to perform as well as I feel that we do, because it is a lot of fun to do, and it's so dynamic. Like it's really an in-depth and interesting story. It's not just another horror movie and not just another zombie film. Like it's a different story than what anybody else is making right now.
No, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, Pryde earlier was mentioned how it's just got all sorts of dynamics into the mix, and I cannot wait to to be on set and actually get to see it firsthand. Is there a way I can come out Pride one of these days? Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna definitely beg you and drag you out, to one of these shoots that are coming up for it.
All right, yeah, I want to see it.
I'm gonna put your killing skills to the test.
I'm good, bro. I'm good, and I'll tell you why. And let me clarify: I'm not a killer, guys. For the record, I could kill time. I wish I could kill coronavirus right now, but I'm definitely not a killer. I just think that when in theater, I played the bad guy and whatnot, but it's just that not an alter ego, but it's again something you don't get to play in real life that you get to play a fictional character. Mm-hmm. So that's really what it is. And I mean, for me, it just works. I already have the eyebrows, right? And I have the look. No, it's so terrible. I'm really excited and unbelievably, the time has like flown by. It's crazy. We've been on for like 25, almost 30 minutes, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I want you guys to also, give me your links. Give me your social media. Go ahead and give me your. Why don't we start with Destiny? What's your social media, Destiny? Where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram. It's my favorite. You'll find a lot of pictures of my husband and my cat. My Instagram account is Desi Kismet, DESSYKISMET.
Fantastic. What about you, Michael?
Yeah, everything is pretty much Michelangelo Blackwell. So Facebook, Michelangelo Blackwell. Instagram is Michelangelo Blackwell. My website's michelangeloblackwell.com. So the other thing I wanted to add really, really quickly is that
you have 5 minutes, of course,
is very, very unique. It's very, very, it's going to turn out awesome. I'm telling you, it's going to be great. And it's great because the writing is excellent. The character depth is amazing, and the Egyptian mythology that's woven into the script is awesome. And we have an award-winning director in Pryde Pierce, who was on Indie Post magazine. So it's just going to be an all-star cast, an all-star production, and it's going to turn out great.
Yep, that's absolutely the case. I know for a fact myself. I can tell you right now that I know for a fact. I mean, just given the information you're telling me, like looking at some of the snippets and things that I'm able to see that a lot of people haven't been able to, because I'm part of the VIP crew, guys. Though I've gotten to see some of the stuff you have up there, and the teaser really was pretty good. Pryde, I really liked you on that. I want to see you do some more acting. And speaking of which, do you enjoy acting? I know you like being behind the camera mostly, but do you enjoy acting, like being in front of the camera? Could we see more of Pryde Pierce in the future in front of the camera?
Yeah, that's actually where I started it. That's what I find to be the most fun, probably career path. But at the same time, when I began my journey with it, I also like technical stuff, and I like being in positions of, I guess, control and leadership. I'm kind of like Tony Montana with that. Who do I trust? Me. And for me, one thing that frustrated me early on with acting was, kind of being beholden to whatever else was casting, what. And so I rapidly was like, I need to decide how to produce my own projects, etc. But the kind of irony in that was, the more I produced my own stuff, the less I acted, kind of thing.
Right. You're preaching to the choir, my man.
Yeah. So I love acting, and I do it whenever I have an opportunity. And also, too, you kind of get known by whatever you're doing when people meet you. And so when I would go to other filmmaker meetings or whatever else, they just meet you as another filmmaker. So they don't even think about casting you for a role, regardless of what your experience is. I mean, like in my case, I've done Shakespeare. I've starred in Shakespeare. I've had news articles written about me. I've, won awards, all that stuff. But you might have a friend that's a filmmaker who might, bring somebody in who has no experience even, because they don't even think to ask you, because you're not putting yourself necessarily out in that lane. And I'm fine with that. I'm not begrudging that. I'm just saying that's kind of the reality of it. So, when I do have times to act, like just this last week I was acting in something, but I do that.
That's awesome.
But at the same time, my focus really is on, if it came down to like, I was in a situation where, there was some genie and said, you can pick one or the other, to be known for, I would choose directing, even though acting is.
Well, that's what the reason why I asked you, I obviously didn't want to like just rummage through all this stuff, I just wanted to ask you guys on the spot, on the fly. I wanted to know so you guys can open up and just tell me a lot. I didn't know. I figured it's just your acting is so organic. I figured obviously you had gone through some schooling or something, or either that or you're just awesome all the way around that way, But this is why I know that this film's going to be great, because your experience now in front of the camera as well as behind the camera, which makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I think it helps. Because you can relate to what things an actor might want to know or ask or how they're feeling versus not really understanding those things. And so I definitely think it helps. But at the same time, to me, again, it really comes down to cast. If you cast actors that are strong actors, like I said, like with Destiny and Michael, that's like 75% of your battle right there,
Right.
No matter what they do, it's at least going to be solid. And then it's just whether or not it meets your interpretation of what you want to have on the screen or not.
Exactly.
Well, and Pryde, I think that your experience as an actor too makes you uniquely sensitive to what actors experience and how vulnerable we need to make ourselves, like in different, not to, show too many cards, but there's a sex scenes, and being made to feel comfortable and be able to be vulnerable in a state so that you can act and not have it feel like artificial or a closed off or anything. Like Pryde is, right. You're awesome to work with. That's all I can say.
Super mutual. Thank you. Yeah.
You really are, my man. You're awesome. You're awesome, Pryde. Well, there you have it, guys. Another wonderful podcast, another evening with three great stars. Jim Francis goes rogue once again. Michael, Angelo, I would like to thank you, and Miss Destiny. It says Destiny Dawn on here, believe it or not. Is this what it comes?
That's me, Destiny Dawn.
Awesome, Destiny.
Oh, my full name is long. Destiny Dawn Osmielowski Tabor. It is long. So I go by Destiny Dawn. And just throwing it out there, if you give $150 to our GoFundMe, I personally, as the succubus, will write a sexy, threatening, demonic love letter to you. So give $150 and I will personally write you a love letter.
Oh my God. I'm gonna tell my producer. Maybe she's gonna kill me, right? That's my girl. Do you take PayPal? Pryde, where can they find you, my man?
Oh yeah. For me, Pryde Pierce Films. And pretty much everywhere I'm at. I'm mainly on Facebook with a good helping of Instagram. And so Pryde Pierce Films on Facebook and at Pryde Pierce Films on Instagram.
And the movie link, once again, guys, what's the movie link called?
Yeah. The movie is Lich Lord Dan and the Fall of Man. You can find it on, I know there's a Facebook page that's pretty active. We've also got an Instagram account that's been set up recently and starting to gain traction. So either one of those, Lich Lord Dan, LICHLORD Dan, and you'll be able to find it.
You guys been awesome tonight. Thanks a lot. I appreciate every one of you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, and God bless you. Be safe out there, and please wash your hands.
You got it.
Don't touch your face.
I already did. Thanks a lot, guys.